People are moving here, especially from California, because here you can get stuff for a lot cheaper, homes are bigger, and then of course, no state income tax.
3/4 of all counties in the country saw their population go down. For the second year in a row, California's population is shrinking.
California's population is going down for 2 years in a row.
More than 117,000 Californians packed their bags and said a permanent goodbye to the Golden State.
While the U.S. population was up 0.4% in 2022, California's went down. And California also has the highest state income tax in the country. But where are people going?
Been many thousands of California refugees coming in for the cost of living.
Many are flocking to Texas, Florida, and Nevada.
I live in this beautiful house with an acre of land. I've got a beautiful pool and a spa. There's no way I'd be able to afford anything like that in California, like at all. Probably be in a small little apartment or something, you know.
People move here for bigger homes, lower taxes, and the weather is not so bad.
It made like good financial sense for me to move out here.
While many are coming here to Nevada, many are also going to Texas. Texas's population just surpassed 30 million people. And today, California is facing a budget deficit of $22 billion, while Texas is enjoying a budget surplus of $33 billion. There are even mysterious billboards popping up in California telling people don't move to Texas. And California's governor was bashing Texas and Florida's values to defend his state.
A California governor running an ad in Florida?
And encouraging people to join him in California. There is one thing many of these states have in common. All of them have no state income tax.
What made you move there?
To avoid the income tax.
No state taxes in Nevada is a huge one as well.
Today, Nevada is the third fastest growing state in the US. So why are so many people moving to states like this?
Sounds cool.
Cool. So talk to me about how did the idea of moving to Las Vegas start?
Las Vegas was an experiment, actually. It was a social experiment.
There are 8 states that have no state personal income tax, and they also happen to be amongst the fastest growing states in the country.
And people have become more price sensitive. I mean, the US had highest rate of inflation in 40 years.
So that $13,000 could go especially far when you're watching your budget more than ever before. Oh, and not to mention, California is the second most expensive state to buy a home in after Hawaii. This is Jason. His dream is to live in California, but upon crunching the numbers, he tells me it just doesn't make much sense. So he looked at Florida, Texas, and ultimately settled on here in Nevada.
Basically, you could get the same housing for $1,500 here that would cost you $3,000 or more in California.
The pandemic has shifted things dramatically in the workforce. See, in the past, you may move to California for a lucrative job in tech, Hollywood, or finance that pays better than other states. But fast forward to post-pandemic times, and 1 in 4 Americans are fully remote workers, while almost 90% have flexible options of where they work. Nevada is one of the fastest growing states. One survey found that 2 in 3 businesses have left California because of lower cost states, and Las Vegas is the top destination for them.
A lot of people moving from Northern California and Southern California, really just for the price of living, cost of living, which I have seen just in the last 3 years go up significantly. Obviously, you can blame the pandemic for some of that, but I really think that a big part of it is just the migration of so many people coming in from California.
But it isn't just Nevada either. See, Texas and Florida are also growing fast, so much so that California is kind of freaking out and facing a massive budget deficit. Its Governor Gavin Newsom even bought this bizarre TV ad in Florida telling people to join him in California.
I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight. Or join us in California.
Meanwhile, these mysterious billboards are showing up in California, which literally tell people not to move to Texas. This shift in population is causing chaos for California's budget, and that means California may have to make some changes, beyond having its governor tell people in Florida to join him. Hyper aware that people have moved for 2 years in a row now, its governor is proposing tax cuts. But if California is charging its tens of millions of residents more than 10% in state income tax, what about states like Nevada? I mean, how are they generating money?
Here in Nevada, we have a lot of taxes on the guests that come in, the hotel motel tax that paid for the stadium, a big part of the stadium, which was publicly funded. So it's a whole delicate balance and trading act that you have going on.
The truth is that states that don't have income tax will often charge their residents higher taxes on sales or property taxes, on sales or properties or fuel or even alcohol.
You pay on the other side because we have a substantially higher sales tax. Our sales tax here is about 8.375% approximately. So they get you coming and going. States with income tax will have much lower, say, license plate registration fees, where it's quite high here. So there are cost benefits of both situations, having the income tax versus not.
Take a state like Florida. It has a very high sales tax, or Tennessee, which has limited state income tax but has nearly 10% sales tax.
Taxation is one of those things that, it's like death and taxes. There's really no avoiding it. It's just the manner in which it's applied to you.
So is this whole no sales tax thing a hoax?
There are all kinds of factors, but it certainly simplifies tax preparation with no state income tax here in Nevada.
Here in Nevada, they're seeing a massive surge of people come mostly from California. And yes, many of them come for the no state income tax. But while they might come for that, they're staying for bigger homes and more everyday affordability.
It literally in the last 3 years alone, the city has transformed.
This is what winter looks like in Las Vegas. I'm wearing a sweater, but definitely don't need a coat, don't need a scarf or a beanie.
The misconception ultimately is that there's so much more to this city than just the Strip, right? Like, I don't ever go to the Strip. I don't ever, hang out there or anything like that. Inexpensive flights in and out of Vegas was a huge plus for me moving here. It's a lot cheaper to fly in and out of Vegas than it is most of the other, cities that I looked into. And then just the cost of real estate here was significantly, especially when I purchased my house, significantly undervalued. So that was, it made like good financial sense for me to move out here. I really did weigh a whole lot of pros and cons. And
more than 113,000 people. That's how much California's population shrunk between 2021 and 2022. In addition to taxes and prices of real estate, consider salaries. I mean, in California, minimum wage just went up to $15.50, which is more than double the federal minimum wage. And you can start to see why California doesn't seem that appealing for, let's say, a business owner. I mean, I will say California has some of the best weather in the country. The scenery, beaches, and diversity are really incredible. But now, more than ever before, people are saying, yeah, but at what cost?